Wagwan people. This is the Middle Eight podcast. It's been a hot minute. My name's Jermaine Riley.
Cherry V.
Come on.
And I'm Ricardo Williams.
And we give you the dopest takes on, everything R&B, everything current, everything, what's popping on, the airways. I mean, the world's in a crazy place, but we just try and stay on top of it. We've got our own individual lives, 3 different perspectives coming together to give you guys, some little entertainment on this Friday afternoon. Probably don't know when you're going to get this. Depends on Ricardo. So what we're going to do now is going to dive into some topics. What I feel, the first one I want to talk about is the Queen. How do we feel, guys? How are we feeling?
Well, let me just say, and I think it's good to put it out there, that one thing this whole Queen's experience has shown me is that there is perspective in the world. Like how certain people experience the world is very different to how other people experience the world. So for me, as a Black person, on one hand, I'm indifferent about it. So I think on one hand, it's someone has died, and I'm saddened by the news that someone has died. They're a mum, grandma, wife, sister, whatever. That news is sad. But for what she represents, the Queen, I just couldn't care less. Like it wasn't. It's not top of my priority list. It's sad on a human level, but for the Queen, it was like, okay, my life's still going on. Energy bills are still going on. Do you know what I mean? Everything is expensive. My life is still. I got things that I'm doing. I'm not bothered by it. And then also when you look at some of the history of sort of the British Empire, when you really deep it, Britain gets away with a lot. Everyone looks at America and will say what they need to say around slavery and their brutality around slavery, but Britain have done worse almost because they've done it across the world. Like it wasn't just concentrated to Africa, it was in Asia and India, and do you know what I mean? It was brutal. Like it was the same level. So for me, I just think it's mad that we can detach ourselves from the reality of what that royal family and the empire stands for, and actually I get to obviously celebrate a life, whatever, but to celebrate that whole monarch thing, it's a bit wild. And the worst thing, the thing that lashes me the most, we're not talking about ancient history, We're talking about modern history. Like some people are affected by the British monarch, like their grandparents, our parents' parents have seen certain things done in the name of the British monarch. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm just like, I don't care, man. Sad that someone has died, but it's mad. And you know what's mad as well? And it's like this COVID thing, is everyone expects you to behave the way that they feel. Like with COVID, there was an expectation of wear your mask, get the vaccine, do this, do that. Don't like have your own way of how you want to deal with it. Everyone expected you to be, oh, but the Queen's dead, aren't you sad? No, I'm not sad. Do you know what I mean? Some of you, I tweeted this on Twitter, some of them that were standing up in that line for 13 hours ain't seen their parents in months. Their parents is in a home somewhere, fam. And then clap eyes on them. But you're in the queue for a woman you've never seen. A woman that
doesn't care about you.
So I'm saying she don't know you exist. So
she doesn't care. Like, even if she knew, the thing is, she knew a lot was going on in it. She didn't even care to step in, interfere, interrupt certain things that she let Boris Johnson happen to us.
Right.
Here's my thing. Here's my logic. Yeah.
Go for it, man.
And I'll tell you a funny story because it's a generational thing. I feel like the older generation, like our parents and and people, they have this connection with the Queen, and it's like in their age, before the internet and all everything that's going on right now, they have it like that's their celebrity in it. Like
Right.
my mum's met like Princess Diana. She used to work for Met Police or whatever. So it's just like very attached to the royals, and it's just like a cult, like an older generation, like they have an attachment to it. But my thing is, like you said, our bills are still here. She's gone now, innit? And let me just read you this, right? So my mom, yeah. So my grandma is she's in her 90s now, right? So we're all very much in the place of, what we're gonna do, and we're just and as hilarious as she still is, it's a dementia type of situation kind of going on. You get me? Like she's a bit detached, struggling to remember people or whatever. So this is my family, this is my blood, this is how I've come into this thing. My mum is coming to the family WhatsApp group. Hey,
I'm not laughing.
our Queen, have you seen or heard the news? I'm thinking she's talking like uncles, aunties, cousins have been like, oh, they've gone to see grandma, and she's in a bad way or whatever. She goes, she's very poorly. It's not good news. I'm thinking, rah, like, what are we gonna do? Like, and I literally said, like, with like sad crying eyes or whatever. Wait. My mom goes, thinks she's slowly going. And I've like my grandma's lived in it. She's influenced all of us. She's given us love. Like she's lived her life. She's given us all the things. And my mom goes, the royal family by her side. I'm still not clocking. I'm like, my mom's dropping metaphors now, innit? Like the royal family by her side. Yeah, of course. Like, I go to my mom, what are we gonna do? Yeah. And then my mom goes, I know it's sad. It's just, I just feel like she's family. She is England. People are just saying she has passed already, but they won't announce it yet. And I said, wait, the actual Queen. I thought you were talking about grandma. I goes, oh, now energy bills are going up, mum. God bless her soul, but like, what are we doing? What about grandma? Like, it's mad, bro. People have lost their marbles.
Mad.
Queuing up, like you said.
13 hours,
Yeah, she doesn't
to
care.
literally bow for 2 seconds to see a box decorated with flag and decoration. And to do this. That's what you did for 13 hours. That's wild. These times your kids have run away. Out there. Nah. This is mad. It's mad what people put as priority,
Listen, like you said, God bless the dead. And I said this. I was abroad somewhere, and they was all talking about it or whatever. And I said, listen, God bless the dead, but that's as far as it kind of goes for me personally.
Same.
Because I didn't know her. She had no help or hindrance to my existence. And there's a lot that happened, like I said, that she just was bear witness. And obviously people are like, oh, she's just a mascot for the country. That's what some people want to say. And I'm like, yeah, but if you have a kingdom, you're a queen of a kingdom, United Kingdom. If you go back to Game of Thrones and that, there's no way shit's kicking off and the queen's just chilling there like, I'm not getting involved, like Gemma Collins. She's not gonna do that. She's gonna be like, what's going on, Boris? What's happening? Like, she'll make an announcement. When the COVID thing happened, all she had was a speech, say, yes, hope you guys are all right. Do you get me? From arm's length, from a distance. That's all she did.
From her palace.
So why am I bawling? Do you know what? Each to their own, innit? Cherry, what do you think?
I think something. Do you know what it is? I just don't want to be bad minded, innit? Like, but I feel the same. A lot of the thoughts that Ricardo said, I agree with. And me personally, I'm just not moved by it. And if that means I'm a bad youth, then I'll be a bad youth for the day.
Bad youth, innit?
I'm just not moved by it for for several reasons. And I don't really give it much airtime in terms of like speaking on it either.
Same.
But I'm not attached to it. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and that's just my reality.
Yeah. You know what it really highlighted to me was, and obviously this is probably a different conversation, another conversation for another podcast, is a difference between like white experience and black experience, like what those two things look like in the same world. And black and brown, because a lot of sort of Indian, like Muslim, Indian, Pakistani, that end of the world, they've got a lot of stories to tell about the British Empire in recent times. You know what I mean? 60s, 70s, and the division that it caused in India. Do you know what I mean? It's wild, man. It's wild like that. It's wild that it's literally like 60 years ago, and people
it was a bit of a history lesson for me because I didn't know. Because as far my perspective is the black experience, isn't it?
Right.
I know what jewels she's wearing on her head. I know what money has been stolen, right? So that's as far as my thing goes. But I didn't know the Irish felt away. When I saw whole stadiums of Irish people elated, I was like, rah, like, I need to do my research to see what the Irish beef is about. But obviously, when
you deep it though, you have to think like the British Empire basically means I, a stranger, I'm coming to your yard, mash you up, and take over your things. Now your yard is my yard, and you're still living in your yard. Do you know what I mean? That's what they did around the world. Like
them time of Christopher Columbus thing that I'm going.
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad that Britain gets away with a lot of what they did in the world, and we celebrate it. Like, what do you think the Commonwealth Games were for? Who are the Commonwealth? Do you know what I mean? Who are they? When you break it down, that's what it is. It's wild, man.
It's a very indoctrinated mentality
100%.
because you've now spun it to the point where you're celebrated and trying to detach yourself from the massacres and the rapes and the pillaging, but still reaping all the benefits and the classism and the generational wealth from it.
That part.
Your detachment stops when you start to, when it starts to be a negative thing in terms of how it impacts your life. It's like, no. We're not, people aren't enslaved in Buckingham Palace, but like, this whole wing here was built by, do you get me? Like, it's just a bit mad.
And then you want to try and cancel my gigs on top of it.
Did you have gigs that got cancelled, Cherry? Did they cancel gigs?
One of my gigs on the weekend got cancelled, because of that.
That's wild. You know what's quickly on this one? What was wild was some of some of the operations that were cancelled and doctor's appointments. For me, that's mad. Like, people had operations scheduled months, now have to wait more months before. That's like, what?
No.
Are we
operations and births? Yeah. Births.
What?
Births.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. It's wild. It's wild.
And she's not here, and she's old. So it's not like you didn't know the day was gonna come. Like, she's not immortal. Like, so it's like when you get into the 90s bracket now, what do you think's gonna happen? But really and truly, life goes on. I don't want to judge, and I don't want it to seem disrespectful, but it's kind of just like, it's not about the country at all. Like, someone dies, it's about the spectacle of it. It's about the entitlement. It's about the respect this and bow down to this by any means. Like, we don't care. Derail life for this.
Derail life.
I'm happy, or should I say the royals are happy to derail the lives within the country that they represent, just to fly around here, there, wherever. Like you said, births, critical operations, food banks. She's gone. They're good. They're not gonna starve. They're like I said, reaping the benefits of a lot of things from the past. They're like rich beyond our wildest beliefs, right? And but people are out here struggling.
It's wild, you know. It's wild.
But it just goes to show, innit, that the messaging is that I don't business where you are on the classism list. I don't business where you are in terms of your financial tax bracket. Bow down.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And like you said, as Black people, and it's what I said in the conversation when I spoke about it, I said, I don't know how much of how I'm meant to feel as a Black person.
You're supposed to forgive and forget. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So that's as far as it goes for me. And like I said, I will reiterate, and I'm sure it goes for everyone, every Black person. Like we're not like, we don't want to be disrespectful to the death of someone, and that's as far as it goes. It could be literally, if someone in flipping Tesco, their parents, I have no emotional attachment to that person and their grandparent, or all I can say is, oh, sorry about it.
Sorry, the genuine.
And I don't expect them to have no attachment to me either.
Exactly. Yeah, it's wild.
So yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Queenie. Well, that text was hilarious, Jermaine. That whole exchange was hilarious.
Yeah, she continued. My mom continued, and she was like, "Yeah, you know what, Jermaine, you're right."
Oh my gosh, jokes.
But yeah, so that's good. So B2K, yeah. These the remaining members, the rightful collective that's left, the members who are still claiming B2K, J-Boog, Razby, and Lil Fizz, went on Nori's Drink Champs. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it based on, what's been going on. In very distracting, but I was locked in. It's a 3-hour conversation.
It's long.
So please manage your time wisely.
What?
Just, you might have to take a break.
Listen, I watched it in 3 separate cities.
Sorry, not jet setting like Cherry. Sorry, I got You say 3 different cities.
Oh yeah,
flex, innit? Flex.
Because I was on tour. I was thinking, 1 hour here, 1 hour there, 1 hour there, while I'm putting my makeup on or like doing whatever, getting ready.
Yeah,
literally, that's how I had to take it in.
Yeah,
I did 3 different days. I did like 3 different evenings, but yeah,
I did a 1 binge thing.
You're good.
Because it was kind of like visual podcast. You just had it while I was doing my work, whatever. And what's mad is that what I gathered from it is that the demise of the group doesn't actually have anything to do with the group. It's to do with 2 members of the group.
Dicks, sorry.
No, you're right. It's what it is.
Private part slanging.
Yeah.
Content.
So basically, I want everyone to obviously enjoy the interview or whatever. But the meat and potatoes of it is basically Lil Fizz and Omarion have had this rivalry since the very beginning. Omarion apparently placed himself in a certain position based on him being the lead singer, and when he didn't get certain attention, it was always an issue. This is what the members said. And even down to like when they had Pandemonium album, all the different members had their own album covers, and Lil Fizz sold the most and Omarion sold the least, and it was just very much like egos were being, egos were on display from the very beginning, apparently, and it didn't help when Lil Fizz crosses certain boundaries when it comes to girls and stuff like that, and just respect level for your boys or whatever. I myself, coming from a group, can only imagine if me and V or me and Kyle was checking for the same girl when Kyle got her, and then I was checking for her, and blah blah blah. And then it was be like, what's going on? Like, you don't really put these groupies, so to speak, to before the unit. Do you get me? We're all coming into this thing, like, it kind of definitely tainted things from early, and lo and behold, Amarion basically betrayed them in
You
order
know
to.
what though? Can I just say something? Yeah. Do you know what's deep about this? It's like we call Amarion's name, but you see Fizz, yeah.
Yeah.
If you know your brother,
Yeah.
and you know what antagonizes him,
What I'm saying, yeah,
and you poke the bear,
Yeah.
you're a rascal, you know.
Yeah.
100%.
Because fact of the matter is, when you was young, when you was a young thing, whatever you done it, you went after the gal that he liked or whatever, some playboy schoolboy thing. But as a grown man, yeah. Not ex-girlfriend, not ex-link, not even ex-wife, yeah, which is peak. The mother of his children, you're mad for that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
100.
You're mad for that.
100.
Yeah.
You're mad for that. Like,
100.
Yeah.
there's even a song. Anyway, not going into that part. But I'm just like, that speaks so much about Little Fizz's character as well.
Yeah.
Because as much as like you could say, oh, Amara was petty for like not because of the basis of that, but really and truly, when you actually really deep the situation, Fizz is for that.
100.
Yeah.
100.
100%.
Like, what are you
100.
doing? What planet did you think that was okay? And also, obviously, the part when he was saying like, it's been out long enough, man. Honor should have seen it by now. The part when he was saying, oh yeah, he came, Amara and come to the house, drop off his kids or pick up his kids, and you're on the sofa and you're like, what's up? Are you mad? You're lucky his furniture didn't move up in that place.
Right, yeah.
It's true.
You're lucky, bro.
Ultimate
You're lucky, man. They didn't kick you down.
Ultimate.
What are you talking about?
Because I don't know. Because I don't know what you want me to say at that point.
What did you expect? You supposed to be, oh, what up, homie? Like, hey, what you doing? Y'all's hanging out? I see. What did you think was gonna happen?
Why are you here,
bruv? On the couch with your foot cock up as well.
Right.
And then you want to come. And then you want to do your tour.
Yeah, I can't think of a circumstance where that would even come about.
Whole thing's wild.
And it's not even real. It's not even like, do you know what? Come man to man. I don't know, man. I just got this connection with her. Like, it's not even like, and even then, it wouldn't even really been accepted anyway.
Yeah,
but it's not come on a humble thing. You're being cocky with it, bruv.
Yeah.
Considering the history. So you've gone there to be a bad you. You've literally gone there to be a bad you.
100%.
And smear it in man's face.
Yeah.
So to be fair, when I really deep it, I blame him.
I think there are a lot of parties to blame.
I blame him.
Because I also feel like if you were in a position to, it's techie, bruv. It's very techie, man.
It's techie, but he's clearly had this sort of like spiteful, competitive nature from a very young age.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously what Amara done with the whole management thing is wild, yeah. But you poked the bear, bruv. You went for the jugular. You know, man's sensitive. You know, man's probably like confided into you about how he likes certain gal and how he's trying to move to certain gal, and you've gone and swooned in. Like, you're trying to wind man up.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing is,
and take him down. Sorry, Jermaine, and take him down a couple of pegs, and that could even be inside jealousy thing. It's like, oh, you think you're the lead singer, but I can get more gal than you.
Yeah. But it was just like even when he wasn't trying, that was happening. So he's already feels like, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm obviously rapping out here. The girls are feeling me. Whatever. I always get my shine because it has to be raps, and I'm the only one that does it anyway. So as much as you're singing the songs, I'm always gonna have my time, right? I'm on all the singles. I'm got a bit of publishing as well because I'm actually penning as well. So it's very yeah. So it's techie because regardless of if someone done that to me, I'm not gonna derail my whole setup based on a female.
But do you know what? Yeah, you say that, but here's another side of it. It's like you say, I'm not going to derail my whole thing, but if you know the intention, if you know someone's intention is mad spiteful, yeah, and mad, someone's out to like bruise your ego and take you down a couple of pegs, it's going to mad you so much at a younger, immature age.
Yeah, younger, immature age. Yeah.
It's going to mad you so much. So it's like, Raj, what, you're just trying to out here, just trying to take man down a couple of pegs and just try and
watch me.
Embarrass me. Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Over yeah. All right. Cool.
I also feel like if the seed within you is very much solo energy, and I need to be the one. Then literally on the very edge every day is that. Yeah. Every gig is that.
Yeah.
So that happening is just like, if I'm ever gonna have a solo out, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's mad, bro. Do you know what kind of gives me a thing? You know, everyone's got them personal motivations on how they react and what their triggers are based on their character, whatever. All I know is that Omarion now as an artist there's very much trauma there, which is why he acts the way he does now.
Yeah.
The way he has the perspective of the group, of the time in his life, and why he doesn't really respect it, because when he was in that collective, he got hurt majorly. Yeah. So it's very telling how he is now, Mr. Unbothered, Mr. You know, just how he speaks. That my only thing about Omarion is that I can't necessarily. I don't. Yeah, I don't hold much stock in the things Omarion says based on that versus challenge, and the most exposing thing for me in terms of someone's character. Just the things he was saying, just the fairy tales that were trying to be spun in front of our eyes. So I now, with listening to Drink Champs, I'm like, well, you guys have never lied to me. Do you get me? So it's a very like awkward place to sit in, watching that, knowing that O is potentially going to say whatever he needs to say in order to make himself look good in the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many things happen, bro. Do you know what would have made me go solo though? It wouldn't have never been a gal.
Right.
It would have never been no song, no album cover, nothing like that. Management could have never. What would have made me go solo, brother? And I would have made it very clear. I would have released a statement, PR campaign. My whole album would have been based on this whole thing. Is that you went to see Michael Jackson and didn't wake me up. Oh my gosh. No.
Wild.
I couldn't even, I think I had to pause it at that point. Because I was like, anyhow, them man in fundamental woke up and left me to sleep. And they went to see Michael Jackson and able to come back to me like, oh my gosh, did you see when he looked at me and put his arm around? Oh, the group's done. The group's done. We're done. We're done out here. We're done. We're done. And I'll say it right then and there. This group's over. So I don't know what contractual thing we got to fulfill, but the moment we fulfill this contract, I want you guys to know that this group is done. All right?
You know
you
what?
Went to see MJ.
like
he left me sleeping in the hotel. What the? Oh, don't let me go mad.
Like Cherry said,
that would have been a fight.
It was
that would have been a physical altercation.
It was one big tick for tat. Like there literally was, all right, how can I outdo you or hurt you? You know what I mean? Or move mad. Who's gonna move the most maddest?
One-upmanship.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's you know what? It's sad to see because like the solution is really simple. Do you know what I mean? It's not hard. It might take some effort, but the solution was just about them just being honest and coming to some sort of understanding. Do you know what I mean? And really just owning their insecurity in the matter. Like that's all it took. Yeah. But we are talking about kids. They were kids at the time, in the height of their fame. They were kids, and they were kids, unfortunately to say, without positive male role models, like to really kind of anchor them.
That's what I was going to say. Because I'm just like, you can be kids some more, but if I have a group who I spent my time every day cooling blood, making sure I want to look good, make sure every food fed and watered, clothes on your back or whatever, putting you up in here or whatever. I'm mentoring a group. And I, as a man, can't band them together rather than see a op to divide them. Then I failed. Do you get me? Like
it comes down to the intention, though, Jay. Like they weren't trying to really mentor men or help them grow into adulthood. It was, how can we make these guys blow so we make money? That was the intention. They never cared about feelings or people's personal development. They never cared about any of that. Bearing in mind all the other allegations that have come out of the back of that story anyway, that whole group scenario, like the team around them didn't care about that. It wasn't about, they didn't have good people around them. It was, they had the industry people around them. How can I make the quickest buck out of you and the most buck out of you? Whatever you guys do in your personal life, that's up to you, as long as you don't shag up what's going on for the group.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame. It's a shame to see that cycle. Do you know what I mean? Like, at any point, someone could have just been like, wait a minute, guys, let's just slow down.
What we're doing right here is very powerful. You guys are literally a phenomenon, and we don't get young Black guys doing what you guys are doing. It's once in a lifetime type vibes. You get me? Like the ones before you, what, Boys to Men? Do you get me? Like, so guys, sit down. We need to talk about this. What's going on? That is your brother, you know, and really mentor them properly. Anyway, didn't happen. Groups him out. Marion's gone solo. What did any of your perceptions of any of the members change during like watching that interview?
A little bit. J-Boog seemed a little bit more down to earth than I thought he was.
If J-Boog wasn't in the group, oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah.
What sense would there be?
This is it. This is it.
Because Rasby is out here.
Yeah.
He's on another planet.
Yeah,
he's on
He's on Mars, yeah.
He's on another planet. I don't know what he's on next five.
I like him on Mars. That's what I was gonna say. Is that I really like the fact, like they always try. Imagine you're so on in a next stratosphere mentally, right? On top of it, you're drinking alcohol for 3 hours, right? That when my man's trying to talk to you, oh yeah, Raz was in China, he was killing it. He was that B2K ambassador out there. Like they had billboards up and what. He don't even know what they're talking about.
The thing is, I'm just like, string a sentence together properly, please. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Because you're talking a bare tick, you're talking in riddles. Every time you ask something, now you can't answer one question yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because when you got a thing, you gotta, to talking about the thing. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
You know what? Allow Razby, allow him.
Oh,
I tell you
wow.
what, allow him. Because he's dealing with a lot of trauma, man.
That's exactly what it was like. It was like, so Raz, like, talk, yo, clap. Everybody clap. You would clap for China. Yeah. So Raz, what happened over there? What you doing? I mean, there's a lot of things going on.
Oh, you know what?
Bro, we just want to know what you was doing.
You know what? It's what I'm saying. That's bad management too, because if you know he's not ready for that interview,
don't bring him there. It's true.
They're not managed.
That's
true. 3 brothers with money coming together and just being like, yeah, we could.
No, that's bad management on all of them, because you don't know your brother.
Oh, bad on his other group members, like not
everyone.
Yeah,
it's like you don't know your brother, so why are you dragging him on them thing if you know you ain't gonna make no sense to nobody? He's the wild card.
Yeah, on top of alcohol.
He's the wild card. Yeah, you're mad. You man are. You're not really thinking properly.
When they said every group has an ODB, I was like, that's sick. Like, just anything can come out at any given point.
Wild card, literally the wild card.
He is.
But I feel like I really like, what's his name though? J Book.
Yeah, J Book. Yeah,
the guy.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
Yeah,
he's always been grounded. To be honest, he's always been my favorite for several reasons. But yeah, he's my favorite.
The dark skinned one,
the chocolate. Nah, J Book. If that's like I said, if they would have literally crashed and burned way earlier if J Book wasn't there to talk sense to his boys and really be like, what every piece of media that I've seen them have arguments or whatever, he's always talking the most sense. He's always like thinking about his family, thinking about integrity, thinking about boys, thinking about what it looks like to people, like. And he's the Leo, so what can I say? So yeah, we encourage you to watch
it, man.
When you do have, the odd hour or two just cleaning your house or, drinking your own drinks or whatever, because it's hilarious and highly informative.
It is.
As of yesterday, one of our musical pioneers released a mini blockbuster movie, in the form of a music video. Mel made me do it, Stormzy has returned, and safe to say, it's looking peak for the competition.
100.
Because he's got a lot to say. He's doing it very eloquently.
Yeah.
The swag is there, the pockets are there. There's one cadence that he was using so sick when he was sat around the table. I think he was in Blue or whatever. It was just the pocket that he was in. I think he called it his Ghanaian flow or something in the song.
Yeah.
I was like, no, he's killing this thing right now. And going from when I saw them going to the Jonathan Ross interview, to be saying the N-word so many times in front of Jonathan Ross was a feat. Because I couldn't believe it. Because I'm like, are they actually playing the audio in the studio right now? Because Jonathan Ross is just like, But yeah, it's
shout out to Lizzy as well.
Yeah, shout out to
Lizzy, man. Yeah, man.
Her journey has been so dope. So dope.
So
When
dope.
I saw her there, I was like, yeah, makes total sense.
Makes total sense. That's the
Yeah.
next move. That is the next move.
Well, he quoted her in the song, innit?
Yeah.
That's even like a madder thing.
In it.
Mm.
You already know me. You know I'm the one that loves both. So when I see that in the world, I love it. I love it. I love how, and you know what? There's like boasting and showing off, yeah. But then there's like when you do it and you're like, it's chess moves. Like
Yeah,
some
it's
of
a
the
shower
people
thing.
that he put in there, like was
When I saw Mega Man, I was like,
listen.
you're
He was
really
like, you know
going into
what?
the culture.
And it was on both ends. Like he was obviously bigging up his chest on one
Yeah,
flex,
yeah.
and on the other, he was bigging up the culture. Do you know what I mean? And black.
Yeah.
It was a perfect marriage. It felt very Jamaican. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm
The
gonna
dogs, the
that's
dogs. Yeah.
right. I'm gonna big up my
Yeah.
chest, but I still came here with my people. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It was
Yeah,
sick,
when I
man.
saw Jazzy B as well, I was like,
Listen,
you've either done your homework, or the people that obviously I don't know if you guys know, but like Progression is musically like overseeing the album, innit?
Okay.
So
okay.
he's like the executive producer slash, I don't know the correct term, sorry if I'm getting this wrong, but he's the overseer of that album. So I feel like as well, the influences that we're gonna get, and just the little upgrade of production, just thoughts, process, like just everything is gonna be next level. Not because like Stormzy can't do it on his own, but I mean in terms of like just another flavor we're gonna get now.
Yeah.
I feel like just gonna be an evolution, maturity, like different type of production. Do you know what I mean? Like even the fact that the song's 6 minutes long, I think somebody said something about like, oh, you man are just talking about 2 minutes for streams. Yeah, Stormzy said, bun that. You'll get it in 6 minutes.
This is what I've got to. This is my art. I deliver it how I want it.
Yeah, and switch up how many times, and even the concept of
no
the song.
No chorus, you know.
Yeah. It doesn't really need it, innit?
It reminded me of something that Kendrick would do.
Yeah,
100.
It was on that level. It was on that level, like that. You know what?
But still English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, the
train
cameos
of
for
thought,
me are the
everything
win. It's the cameos, man. How we strategically put certain people in there, like old, new. It was like, it was so sick. You know what it did as well? It reminded us of how rich our culture is when it comes to like music and entertainment. Like
100%.
It was like
in the UK.
This is
in the UK.
Yeah, like we need to be proud of it because it's rich, man. When I saw Gabrielle, I was like, what?
And you know what? People are scared to do that. People are scared to do that because they're so focused on the now. The people that have had their success in 5 minutes, people that are viral, the TikTokers, like people are so focused on that. So the fact that he actually said, nah, and you know who does that very well as well? Mo the comedian. Mo the comedian said, you think that I'm the bad man?
Yeah.
Look at Slim, look at Richard Blackwood, look at what's his name? Curtis, is it Curtis Walker? Curtis? The guys from Errol McCoy, anyway.
Yeah, Curtis Walker and them.
Line them up and said, this is where I come from.
Yeah.
Like you generation might not know about these, man, but I'm gonna actually
funny because of these,
give you some insight. That is so like that's so special. I saw an interview with Estelle yesterday, and she was hailing up Kelly LaRock. She was hailing up Terry Walker. She was hailing up like Shola Amma, all like the singers that she came up with, and that is in her generation, and that were doing bits, we're getting signed, and that were just like the innovators, like call it what it is.
Yeah, and people want to forget, innit?
Yeah, and it's so nice to see like a young current, like literally so successful talent highlighting that.
Yeah,
like I don't feel like we've really done that before.
Nah, it was a Kendrick
seen as uncool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was sick, man. It was clever as
I just
well.
feel
It
like
wasn't
this.
just thrown together. And I think that's what the beauty of it. Execution was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Flawless
Mhm.
from
yeah,
outfit
man.
to outfit.
Mhm. Like, when I saw the white Avirex, because you know, as everyone had their outfits, but everyone remained them, innit?
Yeah,
When I saw my guy with the white Avirex, I said, nah.
yeah.
I said, yeah, you man got styled correctly.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't a joke
Yeah.
at all from
it
top
was
to
sick, man.
bottom.
Top to bottom.
Like the thing is, when
Was
I
Jenny
when I
Francis in
pressed
there?
play on it,
Was Jenny Francis in there? Or did I imagine it? The woman on the right, I think, is Jenny Francis. When they,
I
I
think,
could be wrong. I'm gonna fact check it. If I'm wrong, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I need
But
to
I
watch,
thought I saw Jenny
I need to
Francis.
watch it a good 3, 4 times more again.
There was a few
But yeah,
things I
I
didn't
feel like there's usually, especially this generation of the Pitney them, there's so much focus on um like Cherry said, the now and who's killing it right now, that they're just too preoccupied with that and they don't look back to see what paved the way for them to even have those opportunities. And it's like I saw a little clip of LL Cool J
Yeah,
basically talking about, like, I think DJ Academic said that a lot of the pioneers of hip hop or whatever are, you know, dusty and broke now or whatever. And he was basically saying in a nutshell that just because someone isn't bathing in all the things right now doesn't mean they didn't have a massive impact
this is it. And
and deserve the respect of literally like a living legend in the game. Because it's like when we look back at like Miles Davis and people like that, we're not looking at their bank account. We don't even know. My man could have been broke his whole career. We don't know. But
okay,
it's about what impact did they actually make. And yeah, it's refreshing to see someone, because Stormzy's still young, um, to know all the things as well, and not just be preoccupied with like, oh, I need to show that I've got money. I need to show this stuff. Like, he's there's substance. There's, like you said, there's the bravado of it all. There's just the raw display of talent, and it's just done very premium. Do you get me? Quality, high end. You get
I'm glad you
it's
mentioned that.
thought.
I'm glad you mentioned the academics thing because unfortunately, and I'm not sort of shitting on this generation, a lot of the new generation not only not like pay homage to the people like back a day, they shit on them. Like they are quick to
Yeah.
say um washed up, old. Do you know what I mean? It's very negative. So to see someone in that generation
Yeah.
not have anything negative to say and really just kind of show, well, actually, there is no me without So Solid. Do you know what I mean? Like without that, there's a whole generation of rappers now, MCs that just couldn't exist because literally they kicked the door down. So however you feel about them now, without them you wouldn't exist, and that's what I loved about it. Like, is just being like aware of where you are and your success isn't just built of just your talent alone. There are people that have come before you, like you said, like LL Cool J. Some of these rappers now wouldn't have a career if them man weren't doing what they did in the 90s and the noughties, you know what I mean? If that, or even in the 70s when hip hop really kicked off, none of that would exist. And that's why like you really got to tip your hat off because he went deep. He didn't just draw for the obvious ones. Like he was in, and it wasn't just about rap culture. It was really about black culture. Do you know what I mean? Like some of those faces were pivotal in our culture. Seeing obviously Brenda Edwards and all of that, that was a big statement as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's good to see. It's good to see that there's still people pushing like the culture forward that are able to look back and still pay homage in that way. To
Yes.
remind
Yes.
to remind anyone that comes next, well, actually, I'm here because of this, and
Yeah.
you have to embrace some of that if you really want to push this thing forward. or we fail. And it's good to see because, like you said, Jay, a lot of the new style of thinking is about it's very selfish. It's very me, what I can get, what I'm doing, how flashy I am.
Self-made, all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Rather than what the facts of the matter is, no man is an island. Like anyone that has been really successful in this thing, in this entertainment game, has had people around him and has looked back and taken example from people that have gone before them. I loved it, man. I loved it. Like it's just clever. It was a Kendrick move for real. It was a Kendrick. Like you go back and watch that video now, and I guarantee there's gonna be little things like, oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah,
from
man.
from the cameos to the just the outfits to the bars, like there's so much he's saying a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not done in a way that is beating you over the head. It's like you're on every word. You're
You know,
like
I was trying to work out. I was trying to figure out if that song was done before Jay dropped his verse on God Did, and that kind of pushed him into that inspiration. Because they're in the same vein. Like when Jay dropped those 90 odd bars the other day, that was like
just saying all the things, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. It'll be good to know. It'll be good to hear his chat on how it all came about and his inspiration because yeah, man, it felt like a good moment for him as well, like to be back.
Yeah, man. He sounds amazing. Like literally.
Shout out to Stormzy. If you ain't seen the video yet, you need to go and watch it right now.
Run it.
Guys, this is our time.
Yeah. So that's a great place to wrap things up. If you haven't seen us talk about everything else in terms of like what's going on in the world, then we just encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube because we try and do this as often as we possibly can. Like I said at the beginning, like there's 3 different people in 3 different places career wise and trying to do all the things to take over the world, but it's coming together for Uno. All right.
Yeah.
So please subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Instagram, all the social media. Ricardo will place all the little tidbits in the bottom so Uno can click. Yeah, I'm Jermaine Riley.
I'm Jeremy.
Ricardo Williams.
That's our time. Love.